Great. And this week I learned sometimes you can leave the upside down, but the upside down never really leaves you.
I'm Tyler Hosley, and I used to like the song Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, but I don't anymore, guys. I just don't.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this recording is very special because it's the last season of Stranger Things, but also it's the last time I will be recording this podcast while in my 40s. So I turn 50 next week, which in Scottish years is like 120 years old. So, you should all just have a day's holiday or something on my behalf, or just like and subscribe and rate the podcast.
Are you going full McDuck? Are you going to start wearing spats and a kilt everywhere?
Like I haven't done that on weekends already.
Well, no, I mean, I know, but now Monday through Friday as well.
Actually, the kilt thing, I don't know what it is. People are obsessed with trying to get me into a kilt, including it's now a main motivator for Vicky, and I'm not doing it.
Don't be so modest. Come
I've
on.
seen, I've seen how knobbly my knees look in shorts already. I'm not putting a kilt on.
But now you'll be wearing a dress without boxers or briefs.
How dare you, Dave? How dare you?
I mean,
that's our other Scottish listeners just disappeared.
Man, sorry.
Well, I hate to break up the love fest here, but I am Anna Mariah, and this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay!
Hey, we haven't had Anna on for a hot fucking minute. It was actually last October.
Yeah, so it's been over a year. That's bonkers. I don't even remember what we talked about last time.
It was a murderous priest movie and something else. Fuck, what was it? I'll remember.
Last time
was it The Amazing Mr. X? And then I remember the other movie, but I can't think of the title. But it had two titles.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had a murderous priest. Yeah, it's been a minute.
I mean,
we tried to have Anna on after that, but we just made her cry. So that's our bad.
I've got to say how much I love and appreciate Anna was including last time I recorded with Anna and Christiane on a podcast that I eventually had to admit to Christiane was, basically a double bill of Aren't All Men Bastards. And I was just there chatting away. But it was lovely to be in such good company.
Yeah,
to be fair,
that's fun.
That's also the point of half the movies we watch.
That is true. But
the other half isn't Tia bastard for doing this to us, but So did you see anything else worth sharing this the past week, Anna?
Well, pre-recording, I was saying that today, recording day, is Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday today. And not only is that a hugely momentous occasion, but this man is just like a gem. I mean, I don't want to know anybody who doesn't like him, or at least appreciate him as a comedian, as an actor, as a general, just all around great guy. So earlier today, I was watching Bye Bye Birdie, which is, I have a soft spot for it, mostly because they cast Paul Lynde as a family man, which is just, what? But that was Dick Van Dyke's first major film role. That was his first time on screen, which I had forgotten that. So it was delightful just to see him in that, and then followed that up with Mary Poppins. It's a classic. I can't really say much bad about it. Haven't really watched much other than that lately. I've kind of been sort of on the go, but recently sort of got into like an Amy Holden Jones little rabbit hole. If you're not familiar with her, she directed Slumber Party Massacre. She also wrote Mystic Pizza, the script for Mystic Pizza, and also wrote and directed a movie with Jamie Lee Curtis called Love Letters. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie.
It's been a minute, but I have seen it.
I
Okay.
have not.
Okay. It's a pretty interesting movie. The premise of it is that um, Jamie Lee Curtis's character's mom passes away, and while she's sort of cleaning out her mother's belongings, she finds these love letters from a man who is not her father, right? This whole other guy that her mom was having this affair with for years, starting around the time she was like 6 years old. And it so intrigues her that she takes up with a married man herself. And it starts out as sort of just this drama kind of film and slides into almost like thriller territory. Like she gets too caught up in it. But it's a really, I thought it was a really fascinating movie. Jamie Lee Curtis shot it before Trading Places, but the movie didn't come out until after that. So if you haven't seen it, I think it's on Tubi. Um, and there may be other sites where you can find it. I ended up watching it on Criterion Channel because coincidentally they had like an Amy Holden Jones sort of like collection of films that she had done. Uh, so I watched that. I watched Slumber Party Massacre, and then I also watched Mystic Pizza, which are kind of three very different films. But I'm kind of fascinated by her career, by Jones's career. She was set to edit E.T. Um, and then decided that she wanted to get into directing and also was kind of taking too long. Um, the filming of that was sort of like taking too long. She couldn't wait, so she decided to jump into directing. But yeah, totally fascinating career. I recommend like checking out if you haven't seen any of those movies. I know Mystic Pizza is probably not up your guys' alley so much, but it's not a bad movie. Um,
I just can't stand what's her name, like ever.
which one? There's
I see her face. I
it,
can't think of
or
her.
there's Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. I cannot tolerate Julia Roberts ever.
Oh wow.
Ever.
Okay.
I want somebody to just beat her with a shoe every time she opens her mouth. I can't I don't know
Oh
what
wow.
it is. I can't help it.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you have a low tolerance for Julia Roberts, then I guess don't watch it.
Like
But
Steel Magnolia's almost classic, then Julia Roberts opens her fucking mouth all the time and brings it down. I can't
oh
do it.
no,
Can't
stop
fucking do
talking.
it.
If you want to maintain this friendship, stop talking. Not that I love her. I mean, I think she's fine. But don't you dare slander Steel
I
Magnolia.
wouldn't. The rest of the movie's fantastic.
It's
It's
just her.
it's just her. Like the rest is so fucking good. Like I'm sorry. It's just I can't help it.
So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much me lately, what I've been getting into. And then of course the usual holiday claptrap, the stuff that everybody watches every time of the year. So, like the Muppet Christmas Carol, all-timer, of course. Home Alone, God, what else have we watched? Like The Prep and Landing. My
Oh
mom really
yeah.
likes them. They're cute,
They are cute, yeah.
they're harmless fun. So we watched like all three of those. You know, I can't think of what else we watched, and I know there's many more ahead of us. We have obnoxious collection of Christmas movies. So that's pretty much what we're doing for the rest of the year is catching up on those.
I know a fun fact about Love Letter. I just thought of it. Love Letters.
Yeah,
Amy Holden Jones wanted to hire Jessica Tilly or Meg Tilly
Meg
in
Tilly.
lead,
Yeah, she wanted to
but
cast Meg Tilly as the
but
lead in that.
Roger Corman wouldn't pay for her.
Correct.
Yep.
And there's also a fun fact. Roger Corman was like, I will finance this movie as long as there's nudity in it.
That's what Corman said about every movie, though. I mean, to be
Right.
fair.
But yeah, he was like, I want boobs or you get no money. And you know what? I'm like, same,
That's why I'm
probably.
shocked Tyler. That's why I'm shocked Kevin hasn't seen this. That poster, the cover for that, I remember like vividly in my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's, like Jamie Lee Curtis in this kind of she's fully clothed, but it's a kind of provocative pose that she's in.
A
And
button-down denim that's open. Yeah, fuck yeah. Like that
yeah,
is
yeah,
burned into my pervy head forever.
yeah.
When
And it
I
also
die, that image in Elvira will be running through my head, and
just
yeah,
visions of sugar plums, totally
pretty
different
much, yeah.
sugar plums than what most people think. But
I mean,
also James Keach is in that movie, brother of Stacy. And I didn't realize how much they look alike. So it's a shame Craig isn't with us because I know how he feels about Stacy Keach.
yeah. That you pretty much is guaranteed we will be watching that soon. So there's
Nice.
that.
Yay. All right, that's it for me then.
Well, I have to start by saying that I surprised myself by watching Reflection in a Dead Diamond and absolutely loving it. That's a new film from Helene Catet and Bruno Forzani, and I don't think I've liked any of their previous films. Like some I've admired more than others. Certainly, I think when they started off, I kind of liked the appeal of their real focus on the sound and texture and the fetishization of leather clothing and breath play and all that worked through their films, but it felt like that was all they really had. For me, I know they have some fans, probably quite a loyal fan base of their stuff. Reflection of Dead Diamond, uh, it's kind of nice. It kind of proves that I am right to keep going into movies for any and all reasons, really, because something might happen. So essentially, this is the tale of a retired spy. He's played by Fabio Testi, and the younger version is played by Yannick Renier. And he's thinking back on his adventures, and this is tied in with his present situation, which has him being suspicious because a neighbor has gone missing. That's essentially what it is. But what it felt like to me was a real kind of wonderful and beautiful and stylish collage of spy movie moments and kind of imagery from Danger Diabolique. That's a big factor in this one. That and James Bond, but it was almost like if you were in James Bond's mind as he was old and losing his memory and started to get confused about perhaps what had really happened throughout his life and what had maybe been spun as legends around his work, if he was a real person. So I had that vibe from it, and I really liked that vibe from it. Like it was superb, and there were a couple of women in the cast that, if they were ever proper Bond girls, would be doing a great job because they're the best non-Bond Bond girls I've seen.
When did this movie come out?
Well, it's out now in the UK on Shudder. I can't recall. I think it
It's
is
out
out
here on
this
Shudder
year.
too. Yeah,
Or
it's this year. It
It,
I
oh,
like it's
so it's a
brand new.
recent
yeah,
Yeah,
movie.
it's
yeah.
the latest one as far as I know. I I don't think they've done anything else after this. And it was getting some praise again, like the stuff often does. But, you know, I was thinking, well, I've not liked their other stuff. I'm unlikely to enjoy this, but I'll still give it a go. It was superb. I give it 9 out of 10. I think most of their other films for me have averaged between 3 and maybe a 5 if I'm going for out of 10 ratings. Just because of that idea to me that as I say, we're diving into the mind of someone who's at the end of the kind of James Bond life, but isn't even sure of what really happened, and then there are certain things that are exciting enough to have happened anyway. It's great, gorgeous, has all the usual hallmarks there, but also has more of a, I would say, there's more of an energy crackling through it. Yeah, and like a really good deadly villainous character as well, who just messes up men that try and act smug, and you know their fate is coming, basically. I recommend. Other than that, it's pretty much been me getting up to my baubles in Christmas fare, and that doesn't mean they're all good. But let me tell you, it's been an enjoyably mixed bag. But I've already this year watched Granny Krampus. I've watched Sister Krampus. I'm, I'm sure at some point there'll be a film called like Second Cousin Grampus that you forgot about until he turned up at the last Thanksgiving.
Third
That's
Krampus
bound to
once
be coming.
removed.
Yeah. Your grandfather Krampus on your mother's sister's side is just like, what? How big is the Krampus family tree? Um, they're all they're all generally terrible. They're all made for about, it looks like, 50 quid. These two films did surprise me by actually having a Krampus, because these films are never guaranteed to have a Krampus. They are films that have been made cheaply by people, and then someone thinks, well, if we put a few Christmas trees up, you can put Krampus on this, and someone will buy them. And that seems to be what they do. I don't know if there's quite the same market now that even supermarkets tend to be phasing out the cheap disc section. I don't know if that's still like a thing. I know they've been phased out here. Do you still have the big sort of bargain bins and that over your way?
Well, kinda in
Kinda.
certain box stores, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about the same here. They're usually sort of like a middle of the aisle sort of rack if it's
Yeah.
not an actual physical bin, but it's like most of them run about like maybe 5 or $10 or something, and a lot
And
of
it
them are like 4 movies in one.
dumped
Mhm.
in, scuffed a little, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have some here in some of the supermarkets, but it just now tends to be kind of the big titles that have also had a disc release and a big push. So there's a little chart section, and you might find some, other bits like, multi-film sets and all that. But you used to have shelves that would need filling with junk, and these Krampus movies would turn up alongside the stand-up comedy discs you would find on the run up to Christmas all the time. So I don't know. Sister Krampus was made by the Polonia brothers. So if you're familiar with their work, you'll know what level they end up sort of delivering. Granny Krampus was the slightly better film, but you know, that's like me saying I had necrotizing fasciitis last week. It was slightly better than when I had Ebola the year before. So those are the comparisons between cheap Krampus movies.
Kevin, do you know how many people recognize the phrase the Polona brothers, who I will remind you are the directors of Jurassic Shark 3, what Shark Encounters of the Third Kind, Cocaine Shark, and Sharkula. Do you know how many people remember their fucking name? You. And just you.
Oh,
That's
no.
it. No one fucking else. Nobody else is that into fucking shark movies that are that bad. Other people
50%,
like good shark movies.
50% of our listener base will know the names. I'll tell you now. So
You do
that's
not count as 50% of our listener base because you listen to it twice, okay?
I do.
Fuck.
I can't recall if I mentioned this last week, but I watched Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. I might have heard about this one after we recorded.
If you did, I
If
blocked
not,
it out.
right. So it's a cheesy Hallmark movie, but I think someone on one of the Discord channels actually were talking about cheesy Christmas movies, and he said, "Oh, the guy who wrote Hot Frosty, right, that modern classic, which is fun, has been doing more Christmas movies, and they're generally quite good. Although, we're not getting another Hot Frosty." He also, responds to some conversations about the films, and he does his own reviews on Letterboxd. Well, not reviewing his own material, but he'll mention stuff and have some quite fun anecdotes. So I thought this Merry Christmas Ted Cooper was recommended to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Like it was really good. And when I say really good, I mean almost, comparatively to proper standard normal movies, really good. Not just Hallmark Christmas movie good. And that was a shock to me. I didn't think they would do that. Like Hallmark movies are to a certain standard actually, and you start to appreciate that more when you watch the sheer amount of much cheaper crap that I watch every year. So that's a welcome thing. But I don't know whether it's just time passing or people that have grown up with them now that know the tropes and can play about with them a bit more easily, or what, or just like an influx of talent. But this is a lot of fun. So there's a weatherman on a local TV station. He is Ted Cooper, and every Christmas seems to go a bit disastrously wrong for him. He has a history of misfortune during the holiday season. What happens this time is he's heading home to help his sister with a fundraiser, and in the local hospital, where he ends up quite quickly, is a woman that he used to have a crush on at school. That's a basic thing. So you know how that's going to play out, and he goes through a number of other misfortunes. But it was just like it was really good. There was some genuinely funny lines throughout the script. The lead actor, Robert Buckley, he was just a great lead. His sister is played by Megan Heffern. She was good, and Hope Miller is the name of the woman who's the doctor who may or may not be a love interest. Spoiler: she is. She's played by Kimberly Sustad. A number of these movies, she's really good as well. There was a Christmas character fancy dress party at one point, and like I just loved that scene because I was looking out for the different people in the background, which included uh, one of the bandits, at least from Home Alone, uh, Clark Griswold and cousin Eddie, dotted about in places. Uh, I think John McClane was there somewhere. There was these different characters just going about there, and it was really well done and cute. And yes, I really liked it. So I genuinely recommend Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper, as something for people to watch. I I don't recommend A Scottish Christmas Secret, which Vicky made me watch today, and I almost just jammed mince pies into my eyes until I could see no more. That was not good.
Is the secret reindeer haggis?
No, I wish it was. I I don't I don't know whether, like, Vicky hate watches these things as well. I know she hate watches them because I look over and she's rolling her eyes, and then we point and mock certain things, like the one sequence we watched that was cutting between 3 or 4 different characters, and we only saw the spray of snow coming from the corner of the screen when it was focused on one character. So we knew there was some poor prop lad on a ladder going, "Can you see it in the scene?" And they were like, "Yes, just keep spraying the snow," and it was pathetic. But I think Vicky also thinks, "Oh, we'll get some nice Scottish scenery and it'll be proper tartan shortbread tin charm." It is not. It is a few people who overdo the accent, and then other people just pratfalling around tiny Scottish villages and just being the worst of the horrible bagpipe playing tourist industry that just has to cater to patronising Americans who want to come along and find a hunky but sensitive logger in a small town so they can spend the rest of their life there. Sorry, it almost broke me.
So you're saying
Almost.
Scotland is not like that?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
it's not like
Oh,
that where
oh,
Kevin is, but the rest of Scotland, yeah.
But
oh, okay. Oh,
Hallmark just, they have been getting better over the years, but they have yet to do a very merry Scottish train spotting Christmas.
This
That
this is
would be
actually this is
that would be
actually a
the
thing.
matchup.
Hallmark has sold those romance movies so hard that there's like hundreds of women that have moved to like Florida and small town where they go in these Hallmark movies looking for men, not realizing that instead of being, the perfect gentlemen that are in Hallmark movies, they're rednecks.
they're okay. Yeah, they're
So there's whole Reddits dedicated to women who are just really upset at themselves for moving to redneck central looking for men instead of staying in the city they came from.
oh my God.
And
I
last
I
but
love
not
people. That's all. I fucking love people.
Last but not least, and I've drawn this out for 2 reasons. We know Tyler's out, and I don't want him to feel as to fill it any time. And also, I really want to aggravate Dave with this before he tries to chip away at my enthusiasm for Stranger Things. So I watched Tinseltown, which over here is the latest sort of Sky movies, Christmas TV movie. And Kiefer Sutherland ends up in a small English town thinking he's got a big acting gig, revive his career slightly on the stage. It's Panto. So you've got Kiefer Sutherland, you've got Panto, you've got a smattering of decent British actors in the supporting cast. Generally having fun. I would say there's some fun here. But why did I pick this at the end to aggravate you, Dave? Do you know why? Have you heard of this film?
Nope.
Right. It's got Rebel Wilson in it. Which whatever your thoughts on Rebel Wilson, I've started to go colder and colder on it, especially when Vicky watched The Hustle the other day, which I'd seen before, and even she agreed that was rubbish. Rebel Wilson is in Tinseltown, and she's trying to maintain a general Yorkshire accent.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever your thoughts on the comedy stylings of Rebel Wilson, I think we can all agree that she shouldn't be pairing that up with an attempt at a British accent because it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And it's almost like in every scene, you can see her expending so much energy just trying to keep that accent on the rails that
And
she
why
can't
would
really
this
do
hurt
anything else.
me? I'm
I
confused.
just like you knowing now that there's a film out
I
there
mean, I
with
don't.
Rebel Wilson.
I just let it go.
putting out,
It's
no,
gone.
it's in your mind forever now.
No,
It's
it's not.
burrowed in there like a bot flight. It is. You don't think it is, but it is.
It's not. If you could see
My,
my head, you would see just a huge field without fucks as this title just vanishes into the ether.
wow. Oh well, I tried, and that's me.
I watched a movie with David Harbour in it by accident, but yay, kinda homework. I watched Gran Turismo. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but I actually really liked it. It's a fun, just like car racing movie. It's kind of like an easy video game movie to adapt because none of those games have like storylines. So you can just make a fucking movie out of a Gran Turismo movie, and you can say it's accurate because
That's
there's no
actually
story.
based on a true story.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
which is I
it,
thought they took a cool approach with that and just made it easier.
I mean, none of
Um,
it's true, but it is based on a true story.
but I actually liked it. I thought Neil Blomkamp like directed the action scenes really well. I love Neil Blomkamp. I love his sci-fi stuff. I prefer to make sci-fi movies over this kind of stuff, but for what it is, it's fine. One of the better video game adaptations of recent years. I thought it was pretty good. David Harbour's good in it. The cast is really good. It's a fun racing movie. You can do a lot worse when it comes to modern video game adaptations. So if you haven't seen it, I say check it out. And if you like Neil Blomkamp, check it out too. But
I agree. I thought it was good, and as a fan of the Gran Turismo games, just enough to keep me happy with the little sound effects and guidelines and stuff and all.
yeah, it's really good. I used to love Gran Turismo. For PS1, that was like one of the first video games I had when I bought a PS1. So I played the shit out of that game. But it
Yeah,
was it's so good. I played the last one I played was Gran Turismo 5, and that one's still really really good. It's a good little series of racing games. But the movie's good. I enjoyed it. But besides that, I haven't really been watching much. I've been playing Silent Hill 2 on the PS5. That's fucking awesome. I love that game. But yeah, that's me.
I had a more unusual week. I ended up watching a double feature of films by uh Jose M. Hernan no uh Hernan Jimenez, who is a screenwriter, director, and stand-up comic. Without realizing he was involved, I watched A Million Miles Away, which is a biopic of Mexican American astronaut Jose N. Hernandez, starring Michael Pena. It's directed by Alexandra Abella, and it's okay. I mean, it's a biopic about an astronaut. Do you know how those go? No, that's not rhetorical. You know how your average biopic about an impressive person goes, and it's all like uplifting and bullshit.
Heartwarming.
Yeah,
yeah.
it it's that. It's just it's a little heavy-handed, but it's fine if that's what you are in the mood for, and that is what I was in the mood for because that's why I watched it. I went, oh hey, look, it's Michael Pena as an actual astronaut. The cast is fine. Michael Pena is always good. Garrett Dillahunt's in it. He's always really good. Rose Salazar is really good. They're really good. So if that's what you want to watch, a movie about a guy that wants to be an astronaut and then becomes an astronaut and goes to the space station, fuck yeah, this is the movie you want. Uh, and I also watched. Kevin, you want to guess what I also watched since the holidays are here?
For you, I'm going to say uh, 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 um, uh, the Alice's Diner thing. Or was that 2 weeks
No,
ago?
that was 2 weeks ago. Alice's Restaurant. No,
And
uh,
Gremlins.
also directed by Hernan Jimenez and written by Hernan Jimenez. I watched Love Hard, the 2021 romantic comedy holiday movie.
That's fun.
Which, yeah, it's cute. It's fine. I didn't pick this one. Somebody else was like, "Hey, you want to watch a movie?" And I went, "Yeah, why the fuck not?" So I watched this in a social setting, and it was uncomfortable because I just wanted to crack jokes, and they didn't. So it was fun. It's cute. If you haven't seen it, it's cute. It's on Netflix. You can watch it. It's cute. Then I finished it up with a pair of Hong Kong films. First, I saw Sammo Hung's 2016 action film, The Bodyguard, also called My Beloved Bodyguard, and mm, I guess it's okay. Like, I don't know what had happened. Hung hadn't made a movie for like 16 years as director when this came out. He did a bunch of stunt coordinating, but he hadn't directed. Big old gap in his filmography as director, and then he made this, and it's just kind of it's okay. I guess. There's some really good bits, but it doesn't like totally come together, if that makes sense. Andy Lau is in it, and Andy Lau is really good in his bits, but Andy Lau is not in it a lot. So he goes away, and then Sammo's great. I love Sammo Hung. He's a heck of a performer and has a real charisma with him, and that's still going in it. It's just I don't know. Like there's just something off about it. The tone doesn't quite land between the dark and the whimsy. And it's just very Chinese, which like yeah, I get it. It's a Hong Kong movie, of course. It's very Chinese, but like I mean, in its approach to things, it's very Chinese. It's a lot more fatalistic than I would have liked in this story, if that makes sense. It's still like it's okay if you want an okay Sammo Hung movie, go for it. But there's better ones out there. You can do better. And then Criterion Channel put up a 4-pack of Ringo Lam because Ringo Lam did some awesome movies. Um, Despite being a horrific human being, he did some awesome movies. And the 4-pack they put up are his City on Fire series. So I watched the first one, City on Fire. And you know what City on Fire is? Fucking great. You guys have seen City on Fire, right?
No, I haven't.
No, I only own it digitally. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, did you ever watch Reservoir Dogs and go, wow, this is just really desperate to be pathetically cool? I want to see this movie, but like gritty and depressing. There you go, City on Fire. Same movie, better done. Yay.
Dave, I did forget one thing, and I know
Oh,
you'll appreciate this. Because you mentioned watching a movie in a social setting and wanting to crack jokes, I did watch the greatest Christmas episode of a TV show with movie, and it was the Mystery Science Theater episode of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
it's a goddamn classic.
It's a household favorite. We watch it every single year.
That's,
I've gotten my parents like super into it now. So, yeah, we had to bust that one out with the rest of our recent holiday viewings.
that's beautiful. But to bring down this joy and love fest we've been having so far, this week we watched the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things season 5, the science fiction horror drama series on Netflix, which has become a tradition here since season 2. So, loosely describe. You want to give us a loose overview of what we've seen thus far, Anna? Since you're a guest, this one's on you.
Oh, thanks. So we are jumping back into the story of Hawkins, Indiana, just shy of 2 years after the events of season 4. So season 4 ended with these giant rifts opening in Hawkins, people fleeing the town before the military comes in and basically puts the whole town in quarantine. So we're about 20 months or so into this situation. We've got some of the kids are, basically graduated out of school. So Robin, Steve, Jonathan, Nancy, they're all sort of working at like a radio station. How they got that job, we have no fucking clue. But hey, whatever. Maybe it was just abandoned and they decided to just start working there. I don't.
Actually, yeah, they do tell it's a throwaway line in the first episode that
Is it okay?
the
I
guy
I
just
must
left
have
and
like zoned for a second.
Robin just took over. Yeah,
Yeah, perfect. Which I would have guessed anyways, since I did miss that line that Robin just would have jumped in and done that. And then we have our other group of kids, Dustin, Lucas, Mike, Will. They are all back in school, trying to sort of cope with the day to day. And 11 has gone into hiding. So Hopper and Joyce are sort of keeping her protected while she's also in training, which we find out later kind of why, but she's like training herself um, to run a decathlon. No, I don't know. Anyways, it all comes together throughout the first 4 episodes. We do add a couple of new characters, and we see some characters that have sort of been on the periphery for a while, namely Holly Wheeler, the youngest of the Wheeler clan, um, becomes a target for Vecna in this season. We also, and I suppose if you haven't seen these episodes by now, we're going to get spoilery. So if you haven't watched it yet, first of all, just get on it, get it over with. But second of all, we're going to veer into spoiler territory. And we also see the return, not in the right side up or the real world or whatever we're calling it, but Max does come back in a capacity. So thank God, because honestly, I think Sadie Sink is like one of the highlights of this entire series. So I'm so glad that they are like figuring out a way to get her back and not comatose. So a lot of stuff going on. Murray is also back again. He's sort of like a like underground, like running contraband to them. Yeah. And oh, we also get introduced to dipshit Derek, or delightful Derek, as he becomes known. He's one of the younger kids, like in Holly's grade. We also start to see a plan coming together. Vecna is kidnapping kids, specifically 12 children, which may come into play later. And they also find out too that there is a wall in the Upside Down that's sort of separating everybody from Vecna, or Vecna is separating everybody from him. So it's in a circular shape, like a clock face.
Or a
Hmm,
giant boil.
what could this mean? Also, there's a lot of references to time travel. A wrinkle in time is a big sort of thing going on. We get a visual reference to a tesseract. Um, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. What are we thinking is gonna happen here, guys? What are our predictions? What are we kind of looking at in the rest of this season?
Oh, well, I think we should probably wait on predictions, but yeah,
It's pretty obvious,
it's
right?
it's pretty in your face. Same with what the whole powers have been coded all along, and they were just like at the end, they were just like, "Yeah, that's what it is. Stuck it." It's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
know, I know, and you've handled it bad every season so far. Anyway, let's go the broad view before we get into those specific details.
sure.
So there were 4 episodes dropped simultaneously on November 26th, and they are Chapter 1, The Crawl, Chapter 2, The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler, Chapter 3, The Turnbow Trap, and Chapter 4, Sorcerer. Oh, these fucking titles. So I just wanted that on record. So I guess we usually do this as a bit more free flowing than we normally do. So I guess we'll just start talking about it. I so far I've liked this season more than I like season 4. There are certain things I have appreciated. I still really like some of the interactions between the different characters, especially basically if they were in the Scoops crew in season 2, they are still a highlight here.
Mm,
Mm.
You can say that, but we both know it's true.
I
Ye-
just like I would generally agree with you, but I can't remember if it was Dustin in the Scoops crew.
He was.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
just think they've tried to, like, I know why, but they made him a bit too much of a dick in the first few episodes here. I thought.
I actually love what they're doing with Dustin. I'm team Dusty Bun all the way this
Fair,
Agree.
season.
fair enough.
And I'm gonna go so far as to say that I'm with Anna, where Sadie Sink is an excellent part of this cast, and she's been like a Broadway kid forever.
Yeah,
Well, like
yeah.
for since like birth, like her mom dropped her out and she started singing on Broadway.
Yeah, she's
Like
literally like that little alien in Spaceballs that pops
yeah,
out of John Hurt and just immediately has a little hat and
yeah,
cane.
yeah, that's Sadie Sink. The
Yeah,
other member of the cast that did that is Gatton Matarazzo, who plays
yeah.
Dustin, and he is excellent in this. Uh, I
I
really
and
like. Oh, go for
I
it.
get why a lot of people though, and we can get into Dusty a little bit later, a little bit deeper, but I do understand Kevin. Like it feels like a heel turn.
A bit,
But
and also they've weighed him down with that, obviously carrying on a bit of the Eddie's vibe, because they knew that Eddie was so popular.
It's not. I don't think it's
Yeah.
because of that. I mean, it is because of that, but I think it works for the
in
character.
yeah, in part, maybe we should just get into it now.
Yeah,
Let's
we might as
get this
well.
out. So he is in grief, deep grief, because he has never had Dustin has never had a father figure in his life. He's never had a dad, right? It's just him and his mom. And so, you understand why like he attached himself like why him and Steve connected. And really why he connected with Steve in that direction. Because this was like an older male role model that he could look up to and felt safe with, like talking about hair care tips and just goofy shit like that. And then he also got Eddie in the last season, and not only to lose Eddie in such a horrific fashion, but to be there when it happened is a deeply traumatic thing. So he is handling the grief of that in a very realistic way, but it's not, I think we're kind of used to seeing like gnashing of teeth and weeping and wailing and that sort of stuff. And he's just like, he's like, fuck all of this, right? Um, he's going in this completely dark direction. It's not healthy for sure, but it's a realistic thing. And the way that he's treating Steve, he's pushing him away as like a safety thing. It's like he it almost feels like he feels like he's poison, you know? Like if Steve stays too close to him, he's going to lose Steve too. So he's really kind of being a dick to him as like a protective method. And I love this because this kid has been so cute and charming and sweet. And I think it allows the actor, I think it allows Matarazzo to really like grow as an actor and really stretch this character. I love it. I really love where they're taking that character and what they're doing with him. Um, and yeah, and he's just totally also being this like rebellious prick to like the basketball guys, right? Like, this literal middle finger to them for, being part of that gang that persecuted Eddie for no reason, out of a horrible misunderstanding. So uh I love that kid so much. I love Dusty Bun. I just want to like gather him up. Like that kid needs a hug big time, but yeah.
Well, you know what? This doesn't happen very often, I think, in the podcasting sphere. But I'm not being sarcastic when I say, yes, you might have actually swayed me a bit already there. Because while watching it, I I wasn't thinking of his grief as much because I think that's one of the flaws. I've been a fan of this series, but with the time jump and then it being busy-ish elsewhere with getting the pieces in place and putting the plan on getting it going forward, I felt like, they were throwing enough kind of tidbits just to, keep people happy after they'd lost Eddie. But it didn't feel to me as impactful in terms of how it did, would still be affecting Dustin. So I think you make a good point there,
Yeah.
and I will try to remember that in the next few episodes.
I mean, he takes a pretty vicious beating for it too. I mean, he's paying the price for
It's
his
tough, right?
statement. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all quite self-destructive, even though he's pushing out like.
No, and that's another, yeah, that's a great observation. He is on this kind of like self-destructive, which again is not necessarily an unusual grief response. Like, maybe he thinks he's tougher than he is, or, he's taking it a a wrong direction, but not an unrealistic direction.
Yeah, and I think his performance is fantastic. I totally agree with that. Uh, I've been critical of how this series handles certain characters, uh,
Mhm.
and it's hurt some of the performances over the years. But so far in this season, I usually have not been the biggest fan of Lucas, played by Caleb McLaughlin, and it's not his fault. It's not the actor's fault. It's that they don't write him well, and there's some deep issues on the production side that we haven't encountered yet in this season with how they do the lighting, and they refuse to adjust it for African American characters. Haven't dealt with that yet this season because most of it's in daylight. So yay for that.
Yeah.
But they've finally given him a couple scenes to actually act, which is good, and he's stepped up really well. The scenes with him and a comatose Max have been pretty affecting, which I did not expect in this series so far.
Yeah, yeah. And it can't be easy to act sort of on your own in that way. I mean, I know there's another person there, but you're basically talking to it's almost like talking to yourself out loud at some level. And yeah, like he's done a great job. There's been a marked improvement for the most part, like kind of all around. I did forget to mention though too that Priya Ferguson is like she's been incredible this whole season. Erica, you can't spell America without
Hmm.
Erica. um, she is my favorite character.
I agree. I adore her, and that she doesn't
Throughout
show up for the first two episodes. Really, just kind of like I was
oh,
waiting. I was
so
waiting, and it paid
oh my God,
off.
when is Erica gonna show up? Yes, it did. And I love that now she's in Mr. Clark's class. Um, a whole bit where they pull her out of class and she's like, "You have 1 minute," and it's exactly 1 minute. Like that scene is precisely 60 seconds. Incredible. Um, and I mean, she's solve it, right? I feel like she's gonna just thing out. She's gonna put it all and be the one who between her and Dustin, because he's already kind of, like he's figured out that it's a circle, that this wall that's in the upside down is a circle. But God, she's so amazing. I love her so much.
Those are all the nice things I wanted to start with. What do you guys got?
I knew you would go with many.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm, I'm really happy so far. I know that you wouldn't be, Dave. I know that Tyler isn't. Tyler's just, he's ill, so that's how he's able to contain his rage. I think compared to a lot of things that you see on streaming services as well, I just want to make this general point. This there is a varying level of quality within some of the effects, but I think generally it's been visually impressive. And I think although it's very derivative and unoriginal and everything that's put in it, it's an original IP. And I also I don't feel as if the Duffer Brothers have made everything up as they're going along. There have been a couple of little side roads that haven't worked out, including one that's led to a character appearing back in this season. The new mutants episode, if you like. But I've never watched this thinking, right, they need to fill out an episode here because they're figuring out where to go there. Oh, they've done this and it's gone completely wrong, so they're course correcting here. I feel like whether you like the show or not, they've been a really pretty steady pair of hands.
I wildly disagree.
They've kept they've kept the same sort of visual style, although it's improved as they've got more money for it. I think it's if you've been into this from the start, you know what you're getting and it delivers, and it's always been in the right direction.
Wildly disagree because they handle so much of it terribly, and they obviously didn't know what they were doing. That's why it takes so long between seasons.
Well, I I'm not saying they did, but for me, I know there's been the big gap between seasons, and I think there may have also been some debate about whether there was going to be time jumps or not as the cast raging. But for me, it's always felt by the time you get back into a season, it always feels like at least that's it.
Well,
They
yeah,
know
if you take 3
the
years between seasons, you're gonna be able to do that no matter what show you are.
yes, but that's a lot better than some other streaming
Not when the
stuff that we get that just
characters
turns them out.
not
It
when your
is.
15-year-old is 32 now.
Hey, we grew up in a time where we were believing John Travolta was at high school with Olivia Newton-John, and
Nobody
also the
fucking
entire
believed
cast
that.
of
We had
Porky's.
to talk about Grease.
The
Thank you.
Porky's cast,
Like
the
Stockard
Porky's cast
Channing
were
is like
hilarious.
30 something. Come on.
Nobody
Por-
believed it.
the
It's
Porky's.
musical, that's hyper real. Make
I
Elle sing and then maybe I'll believe it, okay?
no,
Okay?
and I get what you're saying because too it's because we've seen them grow up on screen, and this wasn't like and I'm sorry to bring this up as like a corollary because this woman is fucking awful, but the Harry Potter movies, when those were coming out, those came out at such a clip to where like we were watching those kids grow up on screen, but it never felt like the movies got too far or that they aged too far ahead before the next movie came out. Visually they still kind of looked those ages, and yeah, like with Stranger Things, the timeline is too squunched up. That's not a real word, but it is now. Um, they haven't drawn it out enough. So yeah, I get it. Like it's not really a Grease scenario because those they just came to us fully formed that way, right? We didn't see anything prior. It's just like, all right, I'm taking this as like they're 30 years old and they're high schoolers, whatever. Um, so yeah, I get it, but I do think I see Kevin's point though too, and I think you're talking more, correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of the design of the show. The the feel of it is consistent, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what he's saying, but
Yeah,
I
and
argue with him for humor. Ha ha ha.
and it
It was a
being
bit. I'm sorry.
and it being, despite everything that feeds into it, it is an original IP that they've
Yeah.
been able to keep the investment in. and return on that investment to folk who want to stick with it and who've enjoyed it, or folk like Dave who want to stick with it because we're making them for the podcast.
Right.
So, was there anything you really liked this season, T? Because or did you pass out again?
No, I'm here.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
like much. I like Maya Hawk. She's really good.
Maya Hawk is excellent.
She's amazing.
Yeah, Maya Hawk's really good. Dustin's fine too. I just find a lot of the episodes just tedious and overstuffed. I mean, with like tiny bright spots scattered throughout. I mean, like I said, Maya Hawk is a huge bright spot for me. She's amazing, and Dustin's really good. But I don't know. I feel like we're still in filler territory. Like, not as bad as David Harbor Russia filler.
Mm.
That's a whole
Mm.
new kind of awful. But I still feel like we're still shoving filler in there. Like these episodes, I feel like the first two episodes could have been condensed to one 50-minute episode and you would have lost anything. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
No, I, I don't disagree. Let's talk about the thing I hated the most was Mr. What's It. How
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
stupid is every fucking character in the show?
That's kind of a sticking point for me too, because it's like, okay, we live on top of the like world's most creepy place, right? Like we live literally on top of this hellscape. Um, and our little sister is talking to an imaginary friend. That wouldn't set off anybody's spidey sense. Like that kind of drove me a little bit
It,
nuts. Like of
it
all
imagine
people, Nancy, you're better than this. You've been such a kick-ass person throughout. Just literally like I'm gonna pick up a gun at the first notice and just start blasting. And you didn't think like, oh, my little sister has this imaginary friend that she's talking to, and it's not just a normal imaginary friend scenario, right? There's just something weird about it.
he knows things that
Yeah,
she can't know. He has the same first fucking name as your enemy. Like, just guys,
yeah, come
come
on.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stretched it a little thin. That bit.
If you live in Hawkins and anyone's suddenly gaining an imaginary new friend, you're not going to assume it's fucking Harvey, are you? It's
No.
just
No,
it's
exactly.
like try and plot towards the worst possible presence, and that will probably do it.
Yeah, like the whole, yeah, that whole thing was just, come on. Sound like really, guys. Nobody just thinks about it. Poor Holly, I guess, is just like pretty neglected as a character until she becomes crucial to the plot, right? Until like it's a plot device. And then it's like, oh, wait, oh, maybe it's Henry, but we still have to ask our mom who's in traction to find out
Yeah.
more about it. It was a bit painful.
Well, that's kind of a problem they've had, and this is partly why I disagree with what Kevin said earlier. They've never had anything to do with the Wheeler parents. Like they keep like having half-formed ideas of what to do with them, but then they don't do anything with them. Like what was it? Season 3, it was like, "Oh, well maybe Mrs. Wheeler's going to get involved." No.
Oh, yeah.
No. Maybe dad no. 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 Maybe they'll see some nope. 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 They're filler. They're not good filler. At least that they get to exist. Unlike how long has it been since we've seen either either Sinclair parent or Dustin's mom?
Yeah, yeah, they get like nothing. And then yeah, like you said, when we do give them something to do, it's it's significant briefly, but then, they get sidelined again. It's not really interesting. The whole like was it season three's subplot with
Yeah.
like her and Billy.
Yeah.
What are we doing with that? But
Well, like that would have been a way to introduce Billy's mind control and the cult thing, but then they didn't fucking pull that
they
trigger.
don't go there. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've already seen more of Delightful Derek's parents
Yeah.
compared to some of the other parents.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. And let's fucking talk about fucking Delightful Derek. I
Oh,
hate that
good.
child. I should not hate a child as much as I fucking hate this child. And it's the actor and the
Oh.
script. He's
I'm gonna
atrocious.
say the script.
But he's bad. Now, he's a kid actor. I'm not gonna be, like, stomping on a child. I'm not. I
Yeah.
am going to say that they needed someone who could be a bit more relatable even when being a shit heel. And
Mhm.
that's on the casting, you know,
Yeah.
as well as the screenwriting, 'cause the shit they have this kid say is, like, the worst, "Hey, this'll be viral, ha ha ha, gif if we have him say this, ha 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 ha." It's it's distracting and he gets more time. He has more of a character than either of the brothers, Wheeler. No, brothers Byers,
Yeah.
and that's that's a problem for me.
Yes, in terms of yeah, I think I'm just ready to write off Jonathan pretty much at this point. As far as the buyers kids go, it's just like whatever. I don't care about that guy anymore. I'm so done with him. He's a waste, in my opinion. Now it's kind of like he only exists to be like a rival with Steve for Nancy's affections with which if Nancy were smart, and I hope she is, she's just gonna go with the neither route. Choose yourself, girl. Like those guys, Steve's great and fine or whatever, but like just you don't have to Katniss this decision. You can just be on your own. So I hope she goes that route at the end, but like I'm kind of fond of Delightful Derek. I have a little soft spot for that twerp, but you're not wrong in your assessment. Um, but I am kind of charmed by his addition. I love that whole scene where he's like bapping the kids with like the stick or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, okay,
That
I
was
enjoyed
great.
that.
Yeah.
But that's
Um,
after all the stuff and all the stuff before
No,
that.
yeah, it does. It comes kind of too late into the introduction of that character. Like we do get that charming moment with him where he sort of becomes relatable and amusing. But yeah, we've had to kind of endure a little too much prior to that or this, character development with him. But I do like that scene, that whole like guided meditation bit that he's doing with these kids, and then he's like, wham, like just smacking them with a stick. Yeah, I don't know. I'm team Derek a little bit on this.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I thought it was fun. He amused me. He amused me as much as the thought amused me that Tyler would be watching this season with subtitles on while listening to Lily Allen's new album. That's what I assumed was happening in the Horsley household.
Nice. I mean, to be fair, that's better than having to hear fucking, Hopper speak.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna
What
say
great
mhm.
I just wanted to say what great timing for her to drop that album.
It is
Yeah, I
very
mean,
chef's kiss.
I had to mention that. It was super. I listened to it. I was like, wow. I don't rush to listen to Lily Allen's material. She's done some okay stuff. I listened to this whole album. It was like, even if a quarter of that is true, and it all feels true, that's just You know, that's not an album you want people saying to you. Was that about you? Was,
Yeah.
Mm.
As you're this is like your victory lap for this
yeah.
show. And we all find out that you're like a sex freak.
Of
Like
course he is. Look
what?
at the man. Look at the
Oh
man.
no, I mean it's clear. I
Obvious.
mean he is getting it. Um but yeah, I don't want to litigate that. That's a whole
No,
other
no, 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 no.
episode
No, but
that we but
I will litigate, and I will present this argument, and this is going to be the second reason I'll get death threats over Stranger Things.
Oh God.
Last year, last time, it was longer than a year ago. Last season,
Mhm.
I said that this show is a prime example of why we need more minority people working in production, and producers and writers. Not
Yeah.
that they're out overtly racist, but there are issues that pop up. So the next thing that I'm going to say that will get me death threats is Jim Hopper should have died in season 2
Yeah. I
because
mean, generally,
Mm.
more of
Mm.
these characters should have died throughout the seasons. I've heard other people discuss what a huge cast of characters it really is now, and how they're trying to spread the plot lines between them. And yeah, I think a few more deaths would have had people feeling a bit more of the weight of what we should be heading towards in the finale.
well, there's that, but also I would have traded Hooper for Bob way back in
Yes,
season 2.
actually, yeah,
Yeah.
Bob was a more interesting character. He was a smarter character. Hopper does nothing and has done nothing for 4 seasons now except like be a prick and be a
Yeah.
sexist prick and punch things that didn't really need to be punched, except that's all he can do. So that's the only way that he reacts. And now maybe if we called him out for his behavior, that'd be fine. But instead, he is constantly reinforced for it. And if they tell me one more fucking time he's going to kill himself at the end to save 11, and they've been telling me this for 4 fucking seasons now, just
And they
fucking do it.
haven't done it. Yeah, I I was kind of bummed at, in this season they have that whole scene. So like the military has set up a base in the Upside Down and him and Eleven infiltrate it and it gets to a point where he's like I'm gonna go in alone, like you need to get out of here and save yourself, and then he backtracks and I was like no, like we need that emotional hit, we haven't really had that. It's always been walked back in some way. Like, as much as I would have hated to see Max actually die, they walked back her death, right? So she's just in a coma. Like every opportunity, and earlier too, like, prior, Hopper vaporized, or so we thought. But no, he just got like transported to Russia. And it's like I hate to say it, but we do need, I think there needs to be like at least one big emotional death scene, right?
Well,
And we've had like minor characters, Um Billy, it was not as emotionally impactful because he was a dick.
no, when
Um
Billy died, I was like, oh, fucking finally.
yeah,
Jesus
like
Christ.
thank God. And then I think the only really like, if I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry, but like Eddie was really like the big emotional death. But again, he was a character that was only introduced in that season. So we didn't have as much of an emotional connection to him.
Well, this
We,
is why you should not get used to Derek. Because
oh, I'm
every
sure
season,
no, he'll probably be fodder. But I want to know because I kind of started this conversation with some friends. So I want to know from you guys, what character or characters do you think, not that you want them to die, okay, But what characters do you think should die this season? Don't say Hopper, because we've already, I think we can all kind of just in general agree, like, he's just got to go. But,
Could die for
like,
like story
could
reasons.
could die for story reasons, would be the most impactful if they
Oh,
did,
okay.
but it has to be like reasonable. We're not just going to pick a fan favorite and say, let's
No.
nuke that person.
Joyce dies.
Yeah.
Um, I want to say Will because I fucking hate Will, but it's not going to be Will, and I'll talk
No.
about why I hate Will later. Uh, it should be Jonathan, but I'm not going to say Jonathan. Joyce dies. Maury dies. I don't know if Erica or Dustin dies, but one of them dies. And hmm. Then Derek die. Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, there.
Those
Yeah.
those would be my guesses. Maybe Robin.
See, that's who I'm going with Joyce and Robin. I think they're gonna, unfortunately, and I don't want to see either of them, especially Robin, but I honestly think that's where the show might go, is to knock off one or both of them. It's gonna
Yeah, I think
suck if
Robin.
they take out Robin.
I mean, it shouldn't be Robin since we know they're going to do spin-offs. The spin-off should be Dustin, Robin, and
Steve.
Steve in a van solving groovy mysteries.
Oh yeah.
That should
Should
be the fucking spin-off, but it's not going to be.
yeah. I don't know. So what do you guys think, Tyler and Kevin?
I mean,
Tyler
I
wants
feel
them all
like
to die.
yeah, Kevin kind of nailed that one. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of with Dave, and I don't want it to sound like because I really don't like him as an actor, but I think Will would probably be the most impactful because what his storyline is obviously heading towards. I think that's probably be the most impactful death. Dustin too because he's likable, but like I'm with Dave on the Will thing. Like I think it would be good for the story, but I don't like him as an actor, so that's probably the reason why too. So it doesn't really.
You just, yeah, a little bit personal.
A little bit. It's not gonna be Will, and I'll tell you why it's not gonna be Will. Because of how they handle the powers, and it's something they've been winking at the whole series run is how very queer coded they make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're going to do that. I think that's the very reason why he won't die. Will.
Mm-hmm.
Robin's the only queer character without powers at this point, or queer coded character without powers, which is,
Yeah.
interesting, and probably speaks to how late in the game they decided to make that choice when they were originally creating the character. I'm just saying, like they lean a bit too much. They handle it poorly, and that's my problem. I don't have a problem with you know queer powers, but the characters they pick are all 11 Vecna, how they portray them. It's very heavily coded, especially once they're like, oh, by the way, Will's got powers too. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't
Which
have a
is
problem with this
sort
on
of,
paper.
yeah, it's interesting how they kind of handle that though, because it's not like he has powers, but it's really because he's just connected to Vecna. It's not like he's, because there's a lot of fan theories and stuff, and they're like, oh, he's number 12 or whatever. They're trying to make him into like one of the kids, and it's like, it's not. It's not as organic.
He's not. But
Um,
the
but I,
other one that showed up, oh, sister, who then we didn't see for 3 years, and then they're like, surprise, here she is, also queer. So like they really lean into
yeah.
it.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
again, on paper it's fine. It's just that they don't handle it well because they don't know how to write those things. Like they know Homo 11 pretty fucking quick
Right.
and pretty fucking often, despite it being like intrinsic to the other powered characters. They don't know how to handle Will or even Robin's relationships.
Yeah.
and it's set in the 80s. It would be difficult. I mean, I was
Yeah.
young, but I remember. I remember the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
It was a difficult time.
Yeah. Yeah. Being out,
Yeah.
especially being out in high school, that's really not going to happen. Um, I did at least after watching that episode, I did like make a note that Will use the power of gay. It was super effective. Um, and I was also really happy that his haircut finally got kind of good. in this. They finally
I
got
bet he's been begging
that.
them for years. I mean, he's like,
Oh,
please, I don't care
Oh,
what
that
else you
bowl
do to my
cut,
character,
man.
just fix the haircut,
they did
please.
him so dirty for so long with that bowl cut, and at least now it's still kind of a bowl cut, but it's kind of shaggy. It's a little wavy, so it's like, thank God. That poor kid.
The only
But they did
upside
kind of.
is his is the only Lego minifigure that looks exactly like his character in the show. That's the only upside.
That helmet hair. Oh man. So Kevin, what about you? I mean, as far as character deaths and
I'm
fiction.
still not convinced that they have the guts to really like have a massacre, but I think Joyce is safe actually. I think Hopper will get a 2-for-1 if he sacrifices himself. 11 and Joyce near there. There's a chance that Lucas could go saving his sister, I
Mm,
guess. I agree with you guys. Robin is a kind of outlier, so she might go. And for some reason, I would put Dustin ahead of Steve when it comes to the odds of getting killed off. He might make some stand
mm,
and say, it's what Eddie would have done. Particularly if it's helping to bring Max back. But I
yeah.
don't know. They keep on the PR train saying that bad things are coming and it's not going to be good. But I don't know if they really will go that far or just have like one meaningful death at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they've been telling us that for years now.
Yeah,
Years.
yeah.
And it's like,
Years.
well, really? I mean, yes, bad things have happened, and we've lost a lot of great secondary characters that should have moved up in the ranks. Bob is the big example for sure. Eddie, I think it would have been great to have seen him for more seasons than just the one, but yeah, it's like maybe their idea of bad things and our idea of bad things because we've put ourselves through so much cinematically in terms of just traumatic watching. I think we're like, no, we really want to see something bad. Like
Yeah,
hurt us because we've all become numb.
I am ready for it. Like, why is Jonathan even like, why the fuck is Jonathan there? Why has Jonathan been there for 4 he's there with
It's
Hopper for me.
so
He's
yeah,
done nothing for 4 seasons except feel weird about his relationship with Nancy. It's been 4
yeah, mope.
fucking seasons, man.
He mopes and he smokes weed.
I think he's just got a big chip on his shoulder that Christopher Mintz-Plasse beat him to the role of Evil Ed in the Fright Night remake. That's what I think his problem is.
He's just
That's
bitter.
the only explanation. Yeah, because he should have had that role. That would have suited him. Like if you get Evil Ed from Temu, that's Charlie Heaton's bag. That'll do.
I like that. You know what? I haven't said anything nice about her yet, and none of us have. But I like Natalia Dreyer as Nancy. I like how they've
Yeah.
handled Nancy this season, letting her step
Ah,
up and
Nancy is
be a
cool.
bit of a badass. Nancy might be dead. I can see them just doing that
Mm,
as a big old fuck because one of them has to die, and I just don't think they're gonna. I think they see her as more expendable than I do. So,
mm.
Mm,
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Craig and I will have very broken hearts.
oh,
Because we're both big Team Nancy people. Um,
it's either that or they're gonna have her go off into the sunset with fucking Jonathan, and that is worse than death.
oh, that's terrible. Don't do that. let her ride off alone. Oh my God.
Do you think the
Please.
Duffers have the
No.
wit to think of that? They don't. I mean, that's
No.
ultimately my problem. The
This is
show just
my fevered brain just hoping to dream this into existence if I wish hard enough. It's not gonna happen, but please just let me have my wish. Let me
Can I
dream.
ask? I don't know whether I'm being forgetful or if, like, it has gotten noticeably uh, darker and more full of like quite obvious horror movie references compared to the
Mhm.
Stephen King land references we had at the start. Do you know what I mean? Would you say that's the same feeling? I know it might sound like those are two of the same things, but they're not really. Like we had a whole episode here that felt like a Nightmare on Elm Street, and I loved it with all the booby traps and stuff.
Oh, you know what? I
Yeah.
love that. I love that bit. I love that's something I really enjoyed this season. Since you
Whereas I
mentioned,
Mhm.
don't think
I'm
we'd have
into.
had that in the first season. Do you know what I mean? That was more kind of there was darkness, but it was Stand By Me darkness and the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And
Yeah.
I think more with the wall, and you've got the gloopiness, and you've got
Mm.
that, and I feel a movement that I've enjoyed as well as part of the overarching thing. That's the technical term for it.
Very good. Well said. I think you're right. Yeah, it does feel a little darker, a little more like, okay, we're really getting into like some horror territory. Um, and and we see that in the characters doing stuff too, that's just like, ooh. I mean, we've talked about Dustin, but that whole bit with Erica and she's trying to like they've, essentially poisoned this pie,
Yeah,
which is such a great scene. And then her friend keeps refusing and refusing and refusing, and eventually she just pulls out a needle and stabs her friend in the neck. Was like, oh,
I
I
will.
mean, it doesn't feel too out of place for Erica because she's just a little badass. I love her so much, but I was just like, oh shit.
Well, I will say this for the series, and it's something I enjoyed, especially in that scene where it really illustrates what they've become growing up in this situation, and they
Yeah.
let
yes,
them be. They're all competent. They're all able to do their job without question or hesitation,
Yeah.
and that kind of hurts Hopper's existence even more because Hopper can't do shit. Like he
Yeah,
just
he was
can't.
really unnecessary. These kids are so capable.
Yeah, he's not dealing with them, he's not helping them. This is them. They make the plan, they execute it. I like that they've let them grow and become competent in this extreme situation. I think a lot of other shows wouldn't. So I will give credit where it's due.
Yeah, because really, if you think about like almost all of the adults are kind of useless. I mean, like Murray is helpful because he's bringing them supplies and contraband and stuff like that, but that's not a major, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I still feel like if he wasn't doing that, these kids would find another way. They would figure something else out. And it's a testament too that they're all so like different from each other. They have these different skill sets. Which is why I think too, like the addition of Robin overall was great because she's so ADHD. And I love that they just let her be that. And nobody says boo about it. But she's so useful. Um, and I mean, Nancy, we can talk about her all day long, right? Like, she's not this shrinking violet, you kind of think she's going to be at the start of the series, but she really steps it up big time. But yeah, like most of the adults are just kind of like, they're not really necessary.
oh, I did like their their plan, marking off the quadrants on the map and stuff and the spaces. But then a minute later, I'm like, oh, people can move. I couldn't remember what they were doing to ensure that the spaces marked off would remain an area they didn't have to explore. I'm like, well, if I was Vecna and knew they were hunting for me, I would just move to a different area
Look,
once
there's
they've
a
been.
there's a giant boil that covers half the fucking town, and they didn't notice it until,
Till they almost crashed the
did the
knockoff
whole
Ecto 1 into it.
they did the whole like, they did, like, half the town. They're like, "Oh, there's no reason to think he's there." Well, half the town is under a fucking boil, and you didn't notice it? It's big, fleshy, it pulsates. I'm sorry. Y'all are a little bad at your reconning. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, so they're not professional by any mean. I guess you'd think they would get it by now, but yeah.
I do think as well, certainly from the last one or two episodes in this half, you see as well that they're happy to go further and know that the cost will, you know, be worthwhile considering what they're trying to deal with and stop. So like there was more death than I was expecting in that last episode. In a good way. I was like, okay. I mean, it might seem in a bad way because everyone's just fodder, but they know that the military aren't up to anything good, and they know that, as I say, the end result will be a lot worse for everyone, possibly on the entire planet. So I like that they're determined to just like wind up and pitch through a load of henchmen as well.
Yeah, that whole scene was great. I
Yeah,
loved that. That was such a highlight um for the whole season so far. That whole scene was just chef kiss. Like that's what we've needed um for a while. Is like, all right, just give us a big fat set piece like that. Um and I think, we have to give some credit to Frank Darabont, right? They pulled it like he
Yeah.
came out of retirement just because he's like, I love this show so much. Um, I want to, direct a couple of episodes. So,
I
and you can tell the difference in the episodes, like the ones that he's directed versus any of the other ones. It is, to me, it's a marked improvement. Like it's very like, oh, not that the other directors haven't been professional, but there's a difference. Um, like he's I'm so happy. I was so thrilled to see his name attached to this season. Like, ooh, all right.
yeah,
Like,
I was shocked when I saw his name attached. I was like,
yeah.
"What?"
that his niche now though, just filming people bumping into strange creatures in the middle of some misty landscape.
Dude, that's been his niche for 30 years.
Right,
Like
okay.
his whole fucking career, he met, he met Stephen King, and it was all downhill from there. Um,
But he's perfected it, right?
he has
Like
perfected it,
Yeah.
and I
that
I
is his
agree.
thing.
I saw his name in the credits for episode 3, and I texted her. I was like, "Has Frank Darabont been there the whole time, and I missed it? What the fuck is going on?"
No,
But
no.
it is a marked difference. Darabont does one episode in the next set of uh episodes, and
Yeah.
one is done by Sean Levy,
Yeah.
who directed well, like the last 6 things with Ryan Reynolds. He's been a producer on this for a while.
Yeah.
And he's directed, I believe, the 3rd episode in each of the 4 seasons before now. But you can tell when it's the Duffer Brothers and anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because and this isn't like it's fine, but they are not as visually skilled. And it's rare to watch a TV show where there's that glaring a difference between the directors.
No,
Yeah.
but I think while they're not, kind of, would say not top tier, I think, for example, they are more visually skilled and have a handle on things that holds them above, say, who is it again? Who's it that did the Avengers ones? And I just,
Well, yeah, but
can't.
they made the worst
The
movie of the fucking year,
Russos.
and we're not. Why would you bring up the fucking Russos? I'm
Well,
still dealing with my fucking issues from the Electric State. You
because
fucking know this.
and they do other Netflix. It's kind of
Like,
what I'm getting at though with the
did you do? Were
Netflix
you
and the
like,
streaming
oh,
content.
my Rebel Wilson thing didn't fucking hit, so let's jab the
That didn't
fucking
land.
trauma button.
I'm
Motherfucking Russo
saying,
brothers.
for people who shepherd a certain IP and get stuck with that, there can be, the Russo brothers have made lots of money and get given stuff, and the rest of their stuff still looks, flat. Doesn't really have anything that you would look at and say, "Oh, that's same." Whereas Stranger Things has that. It's just more consistent and more generally interesting for what it's doing throughout, which I think, the Duffer Brothers have done. It may not have done the best job ever, but I think they've done a really pretty consistently good job throughout.
I
What's up?
mean, I don't disagree. I just don't think there's enough to actually make a fair comparison against anybody else. Because Stranger Things is Stranger Things is Stranger Things. If that makes sense, like, yeah, they got to look down after 5 seasons, and you can see the improvement over the seasons. But I haven't seen them really do anything else.
True, yeah. I mean, the big test is
What comes
whatever
next?
else they do.
Yeah,
And yeah, agreed. But I think from this, I mean, I'd rather enjoy some of their stuff in this consistent style while they're in this world than watch a filmmaking duo who are actually boosted by the IP they're working with and don't really add anything to it that they can't, drain from the sweat of computer programmers.
okay. We've kind of covered most things, but I do want to talk about what I think is the weakest part of this season so far. And this is a recurring issue with Stranger Things. The villains suck.
Yeah.
The villains are atrociously bad. Sherman Augustus is Lieutenant Colonel Jack Sullivan. Sherman Augustus, he's a former football player. He was in Into the Badlands, and he's not very good in that either. He's terrible. Like, that man is just, he's not like, he doesn't come off tough or intimidating. He just comes off blank. And I'm not going to say it's all Augustus's fault. They really don't give him much to do except say, an occasional threatening line, "When I get them children." Like, it's not his fault completely.
Yeah, he's kind of a I actually kind of forgot that he was
Yeah.
around, and it's only 4 episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot that he's even a part of this
he's a nothing.
season.
They horribly fucking waste Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, what is going I hope to God that they do more with her, because why would you have such a name in this season, um, and just so far not really do anything with her? Please let something happen. Let her really get her teeth into this.
She grumbles a couple threats every episode, and then it does
And then
nothing.
she has like a scene with Hopper where it's like, I turn the heat up, turn the heat down, turn the heat up, turn the heat down. And it's just like there wasn't anything super threatening about it. It was just
No.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please let her show up more in the next in the back half of this. Please.
And last but not least, Vecna sucks. Vecna is just not
Yeah.
intimidating. He's not interesting. He is just dull, and he's a shitty design. I get it. You wanted your own fucking Groot, but evil. And he's poorly acted by Jamie Campbell Bower. The dude is just bad. Like he plays multiple versions of this character, but none of them are interesting. I don't understand why the kids would listen to Mr. What's It. He's fucking creepy. This is the
That's going to get
1980s.
you the hate mail, Dave. That's it. By the
I
end of the
don't
season, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they give Henry some sweet, soft focus backstory again, so you get memes that are in line with the Nosferatu and the Frankenstein shit. Be like, it's a monster that kills people, but it's all for love.
He wanted to molest children. That was the setup in the last season. There's no
I
I
know.
don't know
I'm
if
just
there's
I'm
gonna
just
be a
telling you, it's the power of
yeah.
the memes.
Yeah, I know. But he's bad. He's bad
Yeah.
and the character is bad.
Yeah, he's it was so much more interesting to me when it was like the mind flayer,
Yes,
right? Like a
100%
big
agree.
ass fucking monster.
Yep.
Um and we don't know like much about it, but it's big and it's terrifying. Like that's a fascinating villain to me, but I mean I liked, the okay, we're trying to bring sort of like a real world thing into it, and we're connecting this character to, this was a character that actually, like, he was in Hawkins for a while. He went to school with like some of the parents and stuff, and I get like, there's a connective tissue there and stuff, but um, yeah, I don't think he plays the different iterations of Henry differently enough to be distinct. You're right that Mr. Whatsit is just creepy. Like I feel like any self-respecting kid in any age and any era would be like, no, I'm not going with you. Stranger danger, right? Um, but he's not distinct. And the design for Vecna, it was kind of cool in the last season, but now, yeah, it's getting like he's getting these little branches growing out of his shoulder, and it's just sort of another iteration of like a burnt guy. We've seen burnt guys too many times, like deformed looking dudes. Okay, it's Jason, it's Freddy, it's this, it's that. It would be nice to see something a little more visually different. And for as fantastical as the Upside Down is, these giant bats and mind flayers and even the demogorgons, with these like creepy split open heads, like these flower heads or whatever. I mean, that shit's cool. Like at least it's a little different, but yeah, he's really kind of meh, just shrug.
No, and this is again why I disagree about the Duffers being good at directing and editing. They undercut any buildup of interest or anything. The final reveal, they hinge it with Hopper backing down from his suicide, which whatever.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that reveal well, like they spoil it 5 minutes and then they drag it out. And they do it in episode 2. Also, everybody watching knows fucking Mr. What's It is Vecna. Everybody watching fucking knows. And they spend 5 minutes of shitty editing and
Mhm.
overwrought music and zooms that almost show his face back and forth before finally being like, "Oh, it's Vecna. Here's his house." And it's like, "Well, no fucking shit."
Yeah, there really wasn't much surprise to that.
But then they do it again in the fourth episode where it's like, "Oh, is Vecna on the table? Or is something
Yeah,
going on here?" And there's the silhouette of fucking Vecna walking up, and it's like a 30. It's like, why? I know he's not in there. I know that already, but come the fuck on. At least treat us like we're not fucking stupid.
yeah, and I didn't like the sort of like misdirection that they were trying to do, with like Hopper and Eleven. Like, oh, we think that like the military has him contained. And it's like nobody thinks that. I mean, it's nice that you guys do, because you're in the upside down, but like nobody else, like you said, if you're watching, like I certainly didn't think that. I was like, no, but he's like on the right side up and he's luring children away, so he can't be down there. Which, I mean, I guess it's nice. It makes you sort of think about that a little bit. Like, okay, well, then who do they have? So like now we finally get the payoff of like what was it, season 3? It seemed like such a throwaway episode in season 3, but the sister, right?
Yep.
We get the return of Callie. Um and I mean I feel a little bit like justified because I did like that episode in season 3. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just this weird side trip," or like, you know, what was the whole point of that? And I was like, well, okay, it doesn't mean anything now, maybe, but who knows? Something
Well,
could come of it.
that was obviously a backdoor pilot to something Netflix had passed on.
Yeah.
Because like they're like, here's a whole new cast of characters in a new city having adventures. It's like,
Yeah, one of them has
uh-huh.
powers, and what's gonna happen there? But yeah, and
Yeah, that
it's like nice that they, okay, well, if that failed, okay, we're gonna get her back.
I'm glad
Um,
they brought her back. I am, but yeah,
yeah,
that episode, that was like the most backdoor pilot I've since they were like a thing in the 80s.
Um, I I'm excited though to see like, okay, what's gonna happen with her. She's maybe another fodder. Like this could be another, we're gonna bring her in and maybe have her do like one really cool thing with her powers and then she's gonna die. Which again would sort of be keeping with the secondary characters. We're okay with getting rid of them. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a pretty cool reveal, even though it's like it's not Vecna, guys. Like the military is not they haven't been all that great so far. What makes us think that they're gonna be skilled enough to capture this guy? Um, yeah, it's just goofy shit. So I I do want to come back around because we did table this at the very beginning, like predictions, on the record predictions for the rest of the season. What do we think?
I'm gonna defer to T first.
Oh shit, I don't know where this is gonna go, to be honest with you. um,
I just want to remind people that you were still here.
yeah, no. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna defer. I'm gonna hear you guys' thoughts first, and I'll kind of go around.
Mm. All right. Well, then I will jump in. I think yeah, I think they're going to chicken out of doing anything actually interesting. Like I've have you guys have read the Wrinkle in Time, right? Wrinkle in Time. Have you read
Yeah.
all of the Time Quartet?
No, Dave, stop asking us if we've read books.
Oh,
We're a movie
dude,
podcast. We
for fuck's
haven't read
sake.
all the books you've read.
Yeah, except this is
No,
like
what?
really important to this. There was actually the third book came out the year before what season 3 is set in, which, whatever.
Mhm.
I bet the Russos don't even know there's not Russos. The Duffers even know there's five fucking books.
I read the first one.
Most people, you don't have to. After the first one, you don't have to read them. They get. You know how like the further into Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe you get, the more weird Christian they get.
Oh, okay. Kind of the same jam.
Same jam. Although more like weird science also at the same time. But yeah,
Okay.
it's like the one that came out in 86 is Many Waters, in which two twin boys are transported to the desert and help Noah build the ark. And there's angels and
Hmm.
shit. Like it's yeah. Like it's a
Oh,
neat idea, but it's very religious. An acceptable time is the last one. It's very religious. Like the religious thing is definitely there.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it's a bit iffy because the in Gull was kind of Maddie had a weird head, and I like it. I do love the first book, but like they
After
don't make any references to those. What? I'm sorry.
No, but after that, they're kind
Yeah,
of your mileage may vary.
yeah. Your mileage may vary. It depends on your personal tolerance for. Here's some weird religious parables.
Hmm. Okay.
I mean, if you have a decent tolerance, they're not bad for kids' fantasy, especially from the time period. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't actually recommend them anyway. Okay, where was I? My prediction. Okay, so they
Yeah.
won't make any good with that connection, despite the fact that Holly's been carrying the book and they literally called him Mr. What's It. But what the fuck ever. 11's going back in time. 11's going back in time, and I don't know if she's going to undo everything or save Hopper's daughter. But she's going to do
Mhm.
that probably after Hopper sacrifices himself. They're going to undo everything with 11 going back in time and sacrificing herself. I think that's what's going to happen. At the end of the day, it's all going to get reset and undone by 11 sacrificing herself. Or maybe it could be Will. Maybe they will be like, "Oh, no, Will's going to do it." But they're going to push a big old fucking reset button at the end.
I feel like they're building up Will to do that, but the 11 one makes more sense.
Well, 11 would make more sense, but then they gave Will powers, so
Yeah, that's why I said Will. I'm like, yeah, they're just that whole cliffhanger at the end of 4 just feels like that's what they're going with for Will, so it just makes more sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to. It's a time travel thing. There's yeah, they're gonna basically like undo everything that's happened so far. I do like the theory, although it seems less likely now because everything is just screaming time travel. Um, but I do like the theory that it's all a D&D campaign. Like it's all a dream type of ending, right? Like they're still in the basement. Um, it hasn't, no time has actually really passed. They'll, CGI these kids' faces onto smaller actors' bodies and I just wanted to get that one kind of on the record here, like just in case that
Look,
actually becomes a thing. Like
if
it
it
was just a game.
if it turns out to all be a game and we got well I look, if it all turns out to be Will DMing a game, I will be so fucking impressed. Like I've heard that theory and I thought, yeah, okay, that's kind of funny. But man, I don't know.
I
I
don't think they have
I
the balls to do that,
no.
to actually pull that off. I think it's gonna be, yeah, the reset button, time travel reset. Kevin?
Yeah, like I agree. It's clangingly obvious that that's coming. Apparently, there's all the Back to the Future stuff as well. The Wrinkle
Mhm.
in Time. I think it still has to be tied with the facility. I don't think any of them will be able to obviously just suddenly find this new power, but there'll be some way, or there'll be some of the portals. So I'm not sure whether anything can change beyond. sort of what we've seen in the seasons, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets near the end, and you get like oh, hey Nancy, and they find out it's Barb, and that's how everything's all right.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
no.
they would just have tried to keep everyone happy with that, because that was the first sort of moment where it got more, I would say, memeable, and everyone was doing that ridiculous campaign about, oh, justice for Barb. The actress was joining in. It's like, okay, she was an okay minor character. Let's just calm the fuck down.
I
Um,
think
but
Well, but
I wouldn't
that's
be surprised if they do that. They probably won't get what's his face back now for Eddie, because he's already making the most of that sunshine. But who knows?
yeah, no, he's got like a real career now,
yep.
so like they're not gonna be able to bring him back for that. Good for Joseph Quinn. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's like I think Vecna's gonna roll back the clock, try to go back and like nuke 11 before she does it first, and then they're gonna figure out a way to like foil him. But
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
100% going back in time. It just
Yeah.
they really could not like smack us any harder in the
Oh,
face.
the
What I'd love,
worm. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the wormhole.
I was going to say, what I'd love
Oh,
most
yeah.
of all though is if all this happens, and I can imagine Dave's rage vein going mental if there's a slowed down, dreamy version of Huey Lewis and the News's Power of Love. Uh,
Don't even
Or back in time, right?
yeah,
after
yeah.
all the fucking needle drops this season, I would
Ooh,
not put
yeah.
that fucking past them. God forbid they actually do like some work with the script and cast when they can just do a fucking needle drop every 30 seconds.
It has been egregious, but I
Fuck.
will say at least it feels like, because of the radio station, it's like, okay, at least there's like a purpose kind of. I'm not
Well,
saying
okay.
that,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Like
okay, there's a cause for this.
I didn't mind it when they did it to like pass messages and stuff. And if they kept up that gimmick device, but it's not. Like it happens just randomly now too. Like it's
Yeah.
anytime there's an emotional scene, it's like there's a needle drop. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Just do
We
do the
got
fucking work.
we spent like what, $50 million per episode. The music budget on this is significant. We've got to use that up, and we're
Yeah.
going to.
But you know
Yeah.
what? For me as well, it shows. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying this has been a perfect first half of the final season and I love everything. I've loved enough that I can't think of many other straight to streaming shows that I would happily go back and rewatch and dig into again if I had the time. But I would have done that if I'd had the time with this. Now I know Tyler wouldn't. I know Dave, you wouldn't. Like Tyler, maybe. I guess. Have you rewatched the Scream show, Tyler?
I've rewatched the season 3, the one
Yeah,
with
the one. Yeah.
but yeah, with the girl from The Punisher in there. I like that one.
Like in general, I don't know if you have any like shows you've enjoyed on streaming, but for me, I've enjoyed some stuff and then that's it. It is content. It's gone. I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to revisit that. As this is built and given me some satisfying moments, I've been sitting there thinking, like, yeah, I could, if I had a spare weekend, go through the whole stuff and binge. I'll probably get fed up of it earlier on, but there's no other streaming show that I've kept up with that has even put that thought in my mind. So I consider that like
Mhm.
quite a win for what they've done so far, and I just hope they don't screw it up by the very end.
You know what streaming show is really good and then got really fucked by actually Stranger Things and Prime's complete and total inability to market anything not stupidly.
You guys say Paper Girls?
I'm gonna say Paper Girls.
Yeah.
Paper Girls is so good, and it does a lot of the same things better. A lot of the same things. But only one season because they couldn't divorce it from Stranger Things, and then released it like a week after season 4 came out because they couldn't have dropped it in the 3 years on either side of season 4. Whatever. Fucking hell. Prime is just run by idiots.
Wasn't there also quite a bit of praise for that show? Is it just called Dark?
Yeah, but Dark sucks. That's also
Alright.
on Netflix. It's German. It's just very Dark is not very good. Like it's well made. It's just dumb. It does
Well,
have rabid fans. It's very rabid fans.
well, to Tyler's, I'm sorry, to Kevin's point, I did rewatch all of Stranger Things up to prior to the new season, the first half of the new season dropping. So, yeah, I rewatched all of it. And I mean, I know I bag on the show a lot, and season 4 was like it took forever for me to get through. It just felt never ending. But I think it had for me it does have rewatchability factor. And I think this season is off to a great start. And it's off to certainly a better start than like the last 2 seasons for sure. I'm really hoping that they don't fumble the bag on this one. I'm like, please, please, for the love of God, just the ending. However
Mhm.
they do it, whatever route it takes, I really hope they stick the ending on this. Um, and I hope they don't keep, like teasing cool stuff and then pulling back or teasing things that would be like really impactful. And then like, no, just kidding, or no, like, we're not actually gonna do that. Like, don't be afraid of like fans getting upset about stuff. Please, this is my plea to the Duffer Brothers. Like, don't be afraid of that. Like, do something really bold in this season and stick with it. Even if there's this time travel element that's going to happen, like, don't be afraid to keep some characters dead.
Yeah.
Please. If that's how it's going to go. So but I haven't been this excited about a new season in a long time. Partially because there hasn't been a new season in a long time, but also um, like I'm really looking forward to the rest of this and for the whole thing to just be done.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You got any final thoughts?
Um, I'm like the actual worst person to have on a Stranger Things episode because if you look me in the dictionary, you'll see me watching this with sleeping on Chloe's belly in the couch because it's a chore to get through. But I don't want to be like, yeah, it's the worst thing ever. It isn't. It's got some good shit in there. There's some good stuff. Some of the special effects are really good. There's one thing I forgot to mention. I really liked. I think it was episode 2. I think kind of blurring in one right now, but the episode where the Demogorgon attacked the house was fucking awesome. That was a really awesome scene. I think that was episode 2, right? Or am I
Yeah.
just?
The
I
Well,
main
really
there's
one.
like
Yeah.
that.
two
When
house
Holly gets
attacks.
abducted,
Yeah,
right?
when Holly gets abducted or when they beat it with the
Yeah,
shovels.
the abduction one was really good. I think the
Okay.
Duffer Brothers kind of undercut it a little bit by having a flashback in the same scene that you're flashbacking to, which is like just lazy.
Yeah.
That is
Mm-hmm.
lazy filmmaking but that's just Duffer Brothers. That's what they do. But that scene was really good, and but yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. It's not my kind of show, but I'll watch it because I've gotten this far already. If we're talking about Euphoria, I have more to say. But it's Stranger Things. I'm here.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm looking
it's
forward to
time
what's.
to pick one, Dave.
Hold on. No, that's not how this works this week. Usually, yes. I do want to I want to amend what I said about Dark. The first season is really good, but then they don't know what they're doing with it, so they just layer complexity over complexity for a third season that's just really fucking stupid and pseudo intellectual navel gazing. And it's a shame because the first season is really good. I just wanted to, encourage people to watch the first season and then maybe not watch the rest. No, we don't pick one. Instead, we acknowledge that there's 4 more episodes coming, and we'll all be back together in January to talk about that. I'm looking forward to it. It's always good to have Anna come and join us. It's always good to
Tyler's looking for more viruses he can
torture
inject
Tyler.
himself with.
But in the meantime, before that, we've got a normal episode next week. And it's me and Kevin picking. And Kevin, what movie do you have for us?
Well, it's not exactly a seasonal treat, but I figure we need a bit of Marco Kine and a bit of educating Rita.
I
That's
have no
educating
idea what
Rita.
you just
Rita,
said.
sorry. Educating Rita, 1983, starring Michael Caine and Julie Walters. And it's a film I have enjoyed many years ago and have been keen to rewatch.
Oh, lovely. I, on the other hand, decided to go for something really dark and more recent. I'm going with the Filipino drama, Ode to Nothing, or Oda sa Wala. It- It's very dark, and T's going to love it.
Nice.
I just hope, am I going to be able to get people's names the right way round?
Yeah,
I can't,
actually, you will. There's really only 2 major actors in it, and I think you can say both their names.
I can't recall which country I end up having to triple check things with, and I still get it
All
wrong.
of
It
them.
might be South Korean um, names with the difference between the family name and the. And anyway, you get different sources, and if I didn't write them down from the screen, I would get things wrong, and I'm sure I still get them wrong. And so thanks for that extra hurdle, Dave.
You're welcome. Hey, while we're at it, Kevin, what were you given for seasons or Secret Satan this year? Because we've got 3 more to reveal.
Right, yes. Secret Satan, someone has gifted me uh subconscious cruelty. I believe that was the title, because I'm pretty sure it is also what they actually gifted me, not in movie form. It's just subconscious cruelty.
Nice.
Uh,
T, give them the business, please.
We're on Instagram, Raiders _of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe, and watch Kevin awesome videos weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, folks. Anna, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
yeah, thank you so much for asking me back.
I will. Well, I'll talk to you next week, but I'll talk to all of you in a month
Yeah,
ish.
It's got to fly by. It's like super bonus Anna time throughout the next month. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, that it depends on how much we're all angry at her for giving us the Secret Satan divisions.
yes, I love being the arbiter of, I love being the Satan behind Secret Satan in terms of getting to choose people and dole out the movies. It's always delightful having the side conversations with you guys and seeing the absolute agony that comes back. It's one of my like it's not even a guilty pleasure. It's just a straight up joy to be able to deliver the pain to you guys. So I'm so happy that you ask me to do that every year.
Uh,
I can't bring myself to say thank you.
I
It's okay.
will.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Just ask you to respect my emotions at this difficult time.
Ah.
No.